I promise you've never heard this story before. Imagine for a moment living in the heart of a bustling ancient civilization, brimming with art, philosophy, science, and extraordinary literature. Now, imagine waking up one morning to find it all gone, forever. That's what almost happened to the treasure trove of human knowledge housed in the ancient city of Constantinople during the fall of the Byzantine Empire in 1453. But a hidden hero emerged, one that single-handedly preserved this priceless intellectual legacy. Today, we're diving into a story about how a single library might have prevented the collapse of civilization as we know it. Intrigued? Keep watching. This is the story of the library that saved civilization. To understand why this library was so important, let's set the scene. The Byzantine Empire, the eastern continuation of the Roman Empire, served as a bridge between classical antiquity and the modern world. Within its glittering capital, Constantinople housed priceless works of Greek philosophy, Roman legal thought, and even ancient engineering and medical texts. All that knowledge might have been lost forever when the Ottomans laid siege to the city in 1453 under Sultan Mehmed II. When the city walls crumbled, the Byzantine Empire was no more. But this is where our story takes an unexpected turn. Hidden within the chaos of the siege was an underground movement of scholars and scribes who had already foreseen the empire's eventual fall. These unsung intellectuals began a secret operation well before the invasion. Their mission? To copy, smuggle, and safeguard as many manuscripts, ancient texts, and philosophical works as possible. This operation is often overlooked in history books, but the implications of their actions reverberate through time. Let's pause and reflect. Just imagine, the world could have lost texts from Homer, Plato, Aristotle, and other giants of ancient thought. Can you imagine the Renaissance or the Enlightenment without the seeds planted by these thinkers? One of the key figures in this operation was an unassuming but brilliant scholar named John Argyropoulos. Argyropoulos was a Byzantine clergyman and philosopher. Not only did he risk his life to smuggle ancient works out of the city, but he would also end up teaching these works to some of the greatest minds of Renaissance Europe. When Constantinople fell, Argyropoulos fled to Italy, carrying with him an impressive collection of manuscripts. These texts served as the foundation for the Renaissance, a period that fundamentally reshaped Western culture, science, and politics. Think about that for a moment. Without these works, we might not have had Michelangelo's Sistine Chapel, Dante's Divine Comedy, or Galileo's contributions to modern science. But there's more. The relocation of these manuscripts did more than just preserve intellectual treasures. It also sparked the creation of new ones. The influx of Byzantine knowledge into Western Europe provided the catalytic fuel needed for rapid advances in multiple disciplines. It's as if the fall of Constantinople acted as a transfer of knowledge, a historical relay baton passed at a critical moment. Without it, the trajectory of human advancement might look shockingly different. But what happened to this iconic library after Argyropoulos left? Interestingly, even though many works were saved, others were sadly plundered, burned, or lost to history forever. The Ottomans, pragmatic conquerors as they were, did preserve some of the library's contents. Records indicate that Sultan Mehmed II himself had a great respect for knowledge and scholarship and attempted to integrate what remained into his empire. However, the bulk of the Byzantine intellectual legacy had already been carried westward, into the hands of eager European scholars hungry for rediscovery, thanks to Argyropoulos and his fellow scholars. But there's a twist here. This story isn't just about one city or one man. It's about a tapestry of events connecting cultures, empires, and epochs. The Renaissance blossomed not just in Italy, but also in countries like France, England, and Spain, redirecting the flow of human history itself. What began as a desperate and almost covert operation to save a dying civilization's knowledge ended up reshaping an entire continent. Entire generations owe their enlightenment to a small, passionate group of people who believed in the enduring power of knowledge. And remember, preserving this knowledge wasn't just about the great works of famous philosophers. The manuscripts included medical texts, astronomical charts, and engineering designs, applied knowledge that shaped how future societies functioned. These weren't just relics of a past era, they were tools for building a new one. The story of this library stands as a poignant reminder today, a reminder of what's truly fragile in times of turmoil and upheaval. It's not just monuments or cities that we stand to lose, it's our collective wisdom, our foundation, our identity. So here's the big takeaway. What can we learn from this little-known episode in history? Knowledge is incredibly powerful and absurdly fragile. Those scholars in Constantinople fought not with swords, but with their pens and intellect, saving knowledge and ensuring it could survive for future generations. How often do we think of our own role in preserving the things that matter? In an age where information feels permanent, stored in clouds and servers, this story reminds us how vulnerable intellectual treasures can actually be. What are we doing today to safeguard our history, culture, and ideas for the future? To cap today's tale, ask yourself, how different your world would be without access to the knowledge that has shaped its very foundation? What would it look like if the Renaissance had never blossomed, or if innovations had been stunted for centuries? This hidden gem of a story should be a wake-up call to value and protect the knowledge we have today. Remember John Argyropoulos. Remember those faceless, tireless scribes and scholars who worked in the shadows. And remember the understated, crucial role played by a humble library that saved so much more than just books. It saved the human story itself. What would you do if the same task rested on your shoulders? Let us know your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to like and share this video to spread this incredible story with someone who needs to hear it. Thank you for exploring this hidden gem of history with us. Don't forget to subscribe to discover more fascinating tales from the secret annals of our past. Until next time, stay curious.